Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, Barakatah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach us this truth in righteousness, in sincerity, and in truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 men of Yasharallah, and the 1/3 men, women, and children of Yasharallah, the righteous. Shalom. This is your brother Shamya coming back at you one more time with this quick lesson. And I just want to say, just real quick, that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has the spirit on his men right now to be getting on these wicked ass women. When I was at work today, it's like, man, that's all I see is just that demonic, wicked spirit on these women, and it's like they walk around, of course, they're prideful and haughty and rebellious and but it's as if like the majority of these women, they want to die, with so much depression and anxiety and stress that these women are going through in these last days. They're drinking more. Of course, they committing adultery more too, to get their mind off of the evil and the hate and the pain and sorrows that's going on in this world now. But I just feel like a lot of these women, they want to die. And hey, in due time the Lord gonna help them out, because and these women are just they're just fucking wicked, man, just wicked. You just feel that when I walk in places, I just feel that Jezebel spirit, that spirit of that feminist spirit, like these women, they can't be touched. But that's gonna come to an end very soon. But I don't want to keep, I just want to get to the point of this lesson. The Lord is bringing these wicked ass Israelite women down. He's bringing them down, and it's a wonderful thing, because like a lot of the men of the Lord of GMS, they always say that they ain't bringing that feminist shit into the kingdom, and these women they rather die. They rather die than to just humble down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm a that Queen Maleficent spirit is just coming to an end. If you Akim don't know what that is, the Queen Maleficent, that's the wicked queen from Sleeping Beauty, and just a wicked ass woman, Queen Maleficent. And actually, that actress Angelina Jolie, she played that character too. So that's just the that Queen Maleficent spirit. It's just coming to an end. Okay, so I don't want to ramble on too much. But what I want to do is I want to I first and foremost, I want to go to the book of Job. I'm gonna go to the book of Job real quick. I'm gonna go to the book of Job, and go to the book of Job. Okay. Bear with me, Akim. So the book of Job, and I'm going to start at it's chapter 4, book of Job, and I'm gonna read this real quick. The book of Job. Okay, so we're in the book of Job, chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. And it reads, "Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off?" So, what's sweeping the nation right now is that whole what's the girl's name? Her name is Gabby Petito, and basically, to make a long story short, she just looked like this, this sweet little white girl, so-called white girl. She just looks like this sweet little white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes, and she was a light to the world, and she was nice to everyone, and she was so cute, and everyone loved to be around her. Hey, the thing about it is this: the Lord put an evil spirit on that dude to kill that girl like that, and she was wicked, because we just read it right here. Because verse 7 again, it says, "Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off?" She wasn't innocent, okay, and she wasn't righteous. She was wicked, okay. So, real quick, what I want to do, I want to read the same precept in the New Living Translation, real quick, in the book of Job, chapter 4, and verse 7. This is in the New Living Translation. This is what it says: "Stop and think. Do the innocent die? When have the upright been destroyed?" Okay? So that girl, that young woman, she wasn't innocent. I mean, she could have been a speckled bird, but with how everybody is talking, like she was just so sweet, she would never hurt anyone and everything. No, the Lord said it. He says, "Stop and think. Do the innocent die?" She wasn't innocent. She wasn't innocent, and it's just going to be more judgment upon these women, these females, more judgment, because they're wicked. They're not hearkening to Yahweh Shem Shai, the women of Israel. They're not listening. They're not humbling down. Okay? I'm going to read it one more time. Job chapter 4, verse 7. It says this. Okay? It says, "Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off?" Okay? So, I mean, it's going to be more judgment. The Lord said judgment starts at the house of the living power, Israel. So the Lord is judging his people, these Israelites that have rejected the truth, that have and who knows, that girl, she could have been a J, and she's her fiance was from Florida. And it's a lot of the brothers down there in Florida, out on the highways and the byways, preaching his word. So they probably walked by. You just, oh, them guys are crazy. They out on the street, and it's like, no, and they heard it, they rejected it, and hey, judgment. But I mean, that girl could have done anything, but she wasn't innocent. She wasn't righteous. She was wicked. Period. So I want to read. And then what I want to do is I want to go to Second Chronicles. I want to read something real quick in the book of Second Chronicles, because it in the scriptures it's a lot of wicked ass women that were in the scriptures. Okay, and we're gonna read it. I'm gonna go to the book of Second Chronicles. Second Chronicles, and I'm gonna read something real quick. Second Chronicles, chapter 23, and I want to read this real quick. This is Second Chronicles, chapter 23. Okay, Second Chronicles, chapter 23, and I'm gonna jump to verse 12. Now, this is talking about this woman. Her name was Athaliah. Okay? So what I did was, I went to the Blue Letter to, get her background. Okay? So Athaliah, okay, Strong's Concordance H5271. Okay? And her name means afflicted of the Lord. Okay? She was the daughter of Ahab and Jezebel, and wife of King Jehoram of Judah. Okay? So she was wicked. She was a wicked woman. Okay? And we're gonna read it. So this is Second Chronicles chapter 23, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. Now it reads, Now when Athaliah heard the noise of the people running and praising the king, she came to the people into the house of the Lord. Okay, verse 13. And she looked, and behold, the king stood at his pillar at the entering in, and the princesses and the trumpets by the king, and all the people of the land rejoiced, and sounded with trumpets also the singers with instruments of music, and such as taught to sing praise. Then Athaliah rent her clothes and said, Treason, treason. Then Jehoiada the priest brought out the captains of 100s that were set over the host, and said unto them, Have her forth of the ranges, and whoso followeth her, let him be slain with the sword. For the priests said, Slay her not in the house of the Lord power. Okay, verse 15. It says, So they laid hands on her, and when she was come to the entering of the house gate by the king's house, they slew her there. Okay, so they slew this wicked ass woman simply because she was wicked. She was a wicked ass woman. So these motherfuckers that say, oh no, it's just the Bible is just nothing but just goodness, and God loves everybody and everything like that. No, the scriptures is a book of lamentation, mourning, and woe, and of prophecies, right? And of love too. But the Lord is a balance, and we know that the Lord hate wickedness, and this woman was wicked. So the Lord basically put her to death, judgment. Okay? Let me read it again. It says, verse 15. So they laid hands on her, and when she was come to the entering of the house, entering of the horse gate by the king's house, they slew her there. Okay? The Lord ain't a respect of a person. She was a wicked ass motherfucker, and the Lord put her to death. Okay? The Athaliah. Okay. So let me get another woman that the Lord brought judgment on. We know this one because the name speaks for itself. Jezebel. Okay. So Jezebel, of course, I looked her up. Blue letter, Strong's H34:8. Her name means Baal exalts, or Baal is husband to, or unchaste. Okay? It says infamous for her idolatry and cruel persecution of the prophets. So the Lord put her ass to death, okay? Because she persecuted the men of the Lord, the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's why I'm gonna go to the book of First Kings. I'm gonna go to the book of First Kings, okay? First Kings chapter 9. First Kings chapter 9, okay? And then I'm gonna read verse 30 to 30. Let me see. Okay, so let me see. First Kings. Bear with me, Yaki. Okay, no, let me jump back over here real quick. So, let's see. First Kings. Okay. Actually, let me see if it's Second Kings. Let me just bear with me, Yaki. Second Kings. Okay. Okay, yeah. So it's Second Kings chapter 9 and I'm gonna start at verse 30. Okay? So Second Kings chapter 9, and I'm gonna start at verse 30. And it reads, and when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face. Now she trying to use her femininity to try to try to use it against a man. I'm gonna paint my put on my makeup and show some titties or some ass and everything, and just okay. It says verse 30, and when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face and tied her head and looked out a window. Verse 31, and as Jehu entered in at the gate, she said, Had, okay, Zimri, peace, who slew his master. And he lifted up his face to the window and said, who is on my side? Who? And there looked out to him 2 or 3 eunuchs. And he said, throw her down. So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trod her underfoot. So they pushed her ass off of off this high ass building, and then when she landed on the ground, her guts and everything splattered, and then they ran her ass over with the horses. Okay, so verse 34, it says, and when he was come in, he did eat and drink, and said, go, see now this cursed woman, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter. And they went to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. Okay, judgment from Yahweh Shem Shai. Wherefore they came again and told him, he said, this is the word of the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Shai, which he spake by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, in the portion of Jezreel shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel. See, the Lord don't care if you beautiful and got a fat ass or some big ass titties, and no, judgment. Okay, the Lord ain't sparing no wicked ass women. Okay, it says, which he spake by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, in the portion of Jezreel shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the carcass of Jezebel shall be as dung. Dung is shit. Okay? As dung upon the face of the field in the portion of Jezreel, so that they shall not say, this is Jezebel. Okay? So that's a beautiful thing. The Lord brought judgment on this wicked ass woman in a horrific way. Okay? So there's another woman that got judged, put to death, by Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay? So now what I want to do is I want to jump to the New Testament real quick. Revelations chapter 2. Revelations chapter 2. Now, I'm going to read Revelations chapter 2 and verse 20. Okay? Now, this is Yahweh Shai speaking because it's in the red. Okay? Let's see what Yahweh Shai had to say about Jezebel. It says, verse 20, notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. Okay, that's what these women do these days. Now they all into that fucking witchcraft and idolatry, conjuring up fucking spirits and fucking doing astrology and all that shit. The nigga woman, they into that shit hard and heavy. That's why the Lord is putting their ass to death. Okay, so we read that. So what I want to do now is I want to go to this one last precept. This is in the book of Acts, and this is in the New Testament, because a lot of them so-called Christians, they'll say, well, that was all in the Old Testament. No, we're gonna see what happens in the New Testament too. So let's go to the book of Acts chapter 5. Acts chapter 5. Acts chapter 5, real quick. Acts chapter 5, and let's see, Acts chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and I'm going to read down. Okay? Now before I read, I'm going to this is talking about this Israelite woman. Her name was Sapphira. Okay? So of course what I did too on her, I looked her up in the blue letter, Strong's Concordance G4551. An Israelitess, so she was an Israelite. She was an Israelitess, the wife of Ananias, okay, who was an Israelite too. And we're reading this in Acts chapter 5 and verse 1. Okay? It says she was the wife of Ananias. Okay? So we're gonna start reading and seeing what's going on in this story. Okay? So this is Acts chapter 5 verse 1, and it reads, but a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira his wife sold a possession. Okay? Let me go to the next page. Verse 2. It says, and kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. So they try to pull a fast one. They tried to pull a fast one. So they kept back part of the money. Okay? Verse 3. But Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? So we know that Yahweh Shem Yahushua didn't like this shit. They tried to pull a fast one. Verse 4. Whilst it remains, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thy own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now, real quick, let me go to the New Living Translation on this too, because I just want to just read something real quick. Okay, so this is Acts chapter 5, and I'm gonna read verse 3. Okay, this is an NLT. It says this. Then Peter said, Ananias, why have you let Satan fill your heart? You lied to the Holy Spirit, and you kept some of the money for yourself. The property was yours to sell. The property was yours to sell or not sell as you wished. And after selling it, the money was also yours to give away. How could you do a thing like this? You weren't lying to us, but to Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. Okay, so back to the KJV. It says verse I'm gonna read it again in verse 9. It says, then Peter said unto her, and let me just back up real quick. Ask them back up real quick. It says this, verse 4. Whilst it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thy own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 5. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear came on all them that heard these things. So the Lord just had them drop dead. Okay? Verse 6. And the young men arose, wound up, and carried him out and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. So she didn't know what was going on. Verse 8. And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. Then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carrying her forth buried her by her husband. Okay? So when you do wickedness, when a person does wickedness like that, the Lord killed the husband and the woman. Okay? But Peter, he asked her, and she lied. So the Lord took her out. Okay? Let me read that. Let me read verse 9 in a New Living Translation. It says verse 9. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, Peter asked her, was this the price you and your husband received for your land? Yes, she replied, that was the price. So she lied. She's a damn liar. Okay? Verse 9. And Peter said, how could the two of you even think conspiring to test the Spirit of the Lord like this? The young men who buried your husband are just outside the door, and they will carry you out too. Instantly, she fell to the floor and died. The Lord took her out just like that. Verse 10, instantly she fell to the floor and died. Instantly she fell to the floor and died. She did that wickedness, okay? When the young men came in and saw that she was dead, they carried her out and buried her beside her husband. Great fear gripped the entire church, and that's the church of Israel too, entire church and everyone else who heard what had happened. Okay, because the Lord ain't playing. The Lord ain't playing with these women. Judgment upon Athaliah, judgment upon Jezebel, judgment upon Sapphira, judgment upon Gabby Petito, and there's gonna be more judgment. Okay? So now what I want to do is I want to read this real quick in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23. Ezekiel chapter 23. Let's see. Ezekiel. Real quick. I want to read this real quick in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23. And I'm going to start at, I'm going to read down to verse 1 to 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the rest in the in a New Living Translation, because I want to read this particular chapter, because it's some very information. There's some good information in here when they said in the New Living Translation. But let me read this real quick. This is in the book of now this is talking about now this is basically talking about Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is talking about Israel, how we played the whore, okay? We committed spiritual adultery against the Lord, and the Lord, let's just read. It says, Ezekiel chapter 23 verse 1, it says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity. Okay? So bear with me, Akim. What I want to do is I want to go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23 in this book, and I just want to prove some points real quick. Ezekiel chapter 23. Okay, and the title says the adultery of two sisters. Okay, that's talking about us, the children of Israel. Okay, so let me just jump to the points. I'm gonna start at actually, let me read it from the top and read down. It says this. This message came to me from the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Son of man. Once there were two sisters who were daughters of the same mother. They became prostitutes in Egypt. Even as young girls, they allowed men to fondle their breasts. The older girl was named Ohala, and her sister was Oholibah. I married them, and they bore me sons and daughters. I am speaking of Samaria and Jerusalem. So the Lord is talking about us, Israel, his people. We committed spiritual adultery against the Lord, and the Lord is using this in a symbolic way. For Ohala is Samaria, and Oholibah is Jerusalem. I'm going to jump down, just getting to the points. It says, and so I handed her over to her Assyrian lovers, whom she desired so much, they stripped her, took her away, stripped her, took away her children as their slaves, and then killed her. Okay? Symbolically. See how, the Lord allowed these other nations to commit spiritual adultery with us, and then the Lord allowed these other nations to slaughter us too. But spiritually, how the Lord said that these two spiritual women, they played the whore, but they killed her. Okay? They killed her. It says, after she received her punishment, her reputation was known to every woman in the land. Yet even though Oholibah saw what had happened to Ohala, her sister, she followed right in her footsteps. Well, that's how these women are. I mean, anyway, they'll they see something. This perfect example. These women know good and damn well they see what happened to this woman that just died, and her body was found in the woods, in the wilderness. But yet they don't care. They're gonna still be wicked. Okay? It says, yet even though Oholibah saw what happened to Ohala, her sister, she followed right in her footsteps, and she was even more depraved, abandoning herself to her lust and prostitution. Wickedness is as little than to the wickedness of a woman. If they know how to do wickedness, they'll be more wicked and do more wickedness. And then I'm going to jump down to verse 17. It says, so they came and committed adultery with her, defiling her in the bed of love. After being defiled, however, she rejected them in disgust. In the same way, I became disgusted with Oholibah and rejected her, just as I had rejected her sister, because she flaunted herself before them and gave herself to satisfy their lust. Yet she turned to even greater prostitution, remembering her youth when she was a prostitute in Egypt. She lusted after lovers with genitals as large as a donkey's and emissions like those of a horse. So the reason I want to read this in the New Living Translation is because the Bible is also this is like it's R-rated too. Okay? We reading this. He says, verse 20, she lusted after lovers with genitals as large as a donkey's, and emissions like those of a horse, So that like a man's penis as big as a donkey's, when he's about to ejaculate, he ejaculated so much that it's like it was, like it was a horse, not just one spurt. It just came out like water. Okay? It says, she lusted after lovers with genitals as large as a donkey's and emissions like those of a horse. And so, Oholibah, you relived your former days as a young girl in Egypt when you first allowed your breast to be fondled. Okay? So the Lord use symbolically these two women representing Israel and what we did against Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We committed spiritual adultery against the Lord because we're the Lord's wife. The Lord said he looks at the nation of Israel as a tender, delicate woman. So we're his wife. And once we committed spiritual adultery against him, the Lord said, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna give you over to give you over to your whoredoms and let these other nations fuck you up. Because you have been disobedient against me and rebellious and adulterous. Okay? So I just want to, bring this lesson out real quick. These women are wicked. Well, not all of them. Okay? Well, we ain't talking about. We're not talking about the righteous women of Israel who are trying their best to be obedient to their husbands, stay obedient to their husbands, cook for their husbands, make sure that their house is in order, taking care of the children, taking care of her husband, making sure her hygiene is good. I known this girl for a couple of months. She always comes into Walmart, and about 6-7 months ago she was all pretty and everything like that. Now she's bugged out and she smoked a lot of weed and stuff, and then she took a picture on Instagram. This bitch got fucking hairy ass underarms. So nobody want to see that shit. Women with these women don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't know how to take care of their vagina, their underarms. Things that are so easy to a woman. For my husband, I don't want my vagina to smell. I don't want my ass to smell. I don't want my feet to smell. I don't want my breath to smell. I don't want to be hairy and funky. Hygiene. These women are rebellious and wicked and stuck up, but yet they have the worst hygiene. The worst hygiene. Fucking all these men being adulterous. But we ain't talking about the righteous women. We talking about these wicked ass women, and we are loving the judgment that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting on these wicked ass women. And the Lord is putting things back in order. So yeah, okay, I just wanted to do this quick lesson real quick. The Lord had the Spirit jump on me to do it real quick. The Lord is putting things back in order. He's building his men up to be men again, that bring that masculine energy back into his men. And for the righteous women, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting that feminine, gentle spirit back on the righteous women. The Lord is making the man be a man again, and the Lord is making a woman to be a woman again. Okay? So I just wanted to do this quick lesson real quick. And, we just keep rocking and rolling, and we got to keep pushing this truth, making our bodies a living sacrifice for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash Barakatah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach us this truth and righteousness. We almost out of here, Akim. We got to keep pushing, keep rocking and rolling, and keep Yahweh Shem Yahushai first. Kwam Yasharala, and Abba Babal. Shalom.